Okay. How many of you have read the slides before you come to the class? Thank you very much, Anna. Anybody else? How many of you read the slides before you come to the class? Nobody? You did? Thank you very much. Anybody else? No. Before you come to the class, every week you have to read the slides before you come to the class. In the class, we're going to have workshop. We do not have proper lecture for this subject, okay? In this subject, we have workshop only. You will come here, sit with all your friends together. We're going to discuss in the class. Okay? It's much more like workshop. Okay? So you do not actually have a proper lecture. But I will give you some information about it. Okay? So we want you guys to actually come to the class with prior knowledge. All right? How many of us in here? Excuse me, gentlemen, come and join there. Anybody in here? No? Come in, please. 3. Okay. Can we make 6 people in one group? Yep. How many of us? 9, 15, 20, 25, 27, 30, 33, and 4, 37, right? Let's make 6 people in one group. 6 people in one group. Make a group, quick. Let's make a group, quickly please. 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, just make a group, please. Excuse me, come here. Someone join here, please. Come over. Turn around. Gentlemen, come here. Yep. Turn around. Come here, please, quickly. We got only 2 hours time. We have to do a lot of works together. Quickly, please. 4 of you. Cool. Come and join here, please. Okay, where are your groups? 6 together, good. Turn around, guys. Turn around. No. Get out of the chair. Leave your chair. Give me the chair. Come here. Put it here like this. Here we go. Together. Guys, turn around, please. Quick. Just move it. Quickly. It's okay, quick. Quick. Gentlemen. Okay, I think you guys have to move around, yeah. Please. Where is your group? All together? 6? Make it a group. So it's all together. No. You come this side. Yes. Bring it up. Close. Yeah, go. Yes. Excuse me. Bring this table in here. Perfect. Nice. All ready? Good. So that's our first topic to talk about. Okay. So you have to give me these answers. Okay? So you'll be writing in a paper. Pen and paper ready, please? Okay? Pen and paper. Define GDP and explain why GDP equals aggregate expenditure and aggregate income. Okay? Explain how the ABS, Australian Bureau of Statistics, measures Australian GDP and real GDP. Okay? Explain how real GDP is used and explain its limitations as a measure of economic well-being. Discuss other expenditure of the economy's health, inflation, and unemployment rate. So this is the thing our target to learn today. Okay, the first one is here. Shh. Guys, please understand the question first. Understand first how you work, then you start. Excuse me. Hello? Stop it. Please. We have only 2 hours time, and you will see how fast we need to go. You will see it very soon. It will not be easy for you to catch up. Trust me. We're going to go very fast, super fast, to be honest. Okay? The first question is in here. These are activity 1. Review workshop problems. Explain why an economy's income must equal to expenditure. Quick. You will have, I think, 10 minutes. Let me see how many minutes you have. Let me check. So this is your lesson plan, actually. Workshop activity 15 minutes, actually, for the first one. Activity 1, 15 minutes time you have. See, 15 minutes already gone to set it up. Set you guys up. I lost 15 minutes already. Okay? Please, quickly. 15 minutes to finish it off. Okay, first one. First question is in here. That's it. Quickly, please. So we expect you have already gone through these things at home, and coming to the class, you have some knowledge. Okay? Shh. Guys, listen. After the 15 minutes, I will talk maybe 5 minutes what these things are. Then you take notes if you are incorrect somewhere, okay? Please, quickly. Yes, contribute to your friends. And you have to answer me the questions. We will put marks on the response, actually. Contribute to the group work, please. Pen and paper. You have pen and paper? And group members, you will have to answer me. I'll say group 1, group 2, you will answer me the questions. Excuse me, close your chat option, please. Close it, please. How is it going here? Done? How many you are in the group? 6? No. It will be too much. Yeah. 6 already there. Can you take this off, please? Whose bottle is this? Grab a chair and here, join here.
Do you need to explain what's GDP?
No, not necessarily. No. Okay, looking there. Yep. You are allowed to use anything you find, slides, it's all right. You can use your laptop, that's better, mobile phone, tough. Relax slowly, not to be hurried. It's okay.
Yeah, that's exactly the one that I showed. That's the one. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Done? Is it?
I don't know. But it's hard to explain.
That's what you're going to do.
We're still discussing how
Yeah.
are we going to do it.
Excuse me. Can you guys add these tables together and let them have those tables? So if some students comes up, they can join in there. Bring a chair on this side. That's it. Yeah, bring a chair on this side. Bring your chair this side. Yeah. I'm going to join this too. Here, like this. Come this side. Come here. Come out. Yes. Now you understand.
Then it's going to
I only have half the room.
That's it. Good.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, that's, for example, okay, let's say just $100,000, and then like, let's say $100,000 house, like I'm paying for the service of the people who spend it.
That's okay.
All right, thank you.
Oh. Excuse me. Join here, please. Grab the chair. Can you turn it, please? Turn this table. Yeah, just turn it. Yeah, good, perfect. That's it. There will be some more students that's going to turn up. They can sit here. Yeah, good. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Yeah, good, perfect. Excuse me. Turn around this one, this table. Hold your, it will gonna drop off, yeah. Like this. Yeah. So this. Excuse me. Yeah, thank you. Yes, good. Now you join this side. Whatever, doesn't matter, leave it. Oh, here is another chair I can put. Why? Someone else gonna sit in here. Oh, that's not your bag?
Not my bag.
Ah, okay.
So they're losing
Okay, done. Stop. Shh, shh, shh. Guys, 15 minutes is up, okay? Now, which group gonna tell me? Yes, this group, start. Answer me question A and B, please, quick. Nice. Everybody? Yes, you have to be loud. The whole class can hear you. And they will criticize you if it is not correct. Okay, they will protest it. They will ask you the explanation. It's like a discussion here. Please, quickly.
GDP measures the total income and expenditure of an economy. Expenditure by a customer and income for a seller are essential because the GDP follows why money changing and is identical.
Did you understand it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Hell yeah, yes, of course you did, right? She's your friend, and you must have to understand. I did not. Okay. So what she's trying to say here is this, that when you actually measure GDPs, someone's expenditure is someone else's income. You go to a shop, you pay $10. $10 is your expense to buy what should I say, donuts for $10. This $10 become the income for the seller who is selling to you. Okay? So that's why we measure GDP as income is equal to expenditure. That's the point they make here. Okay? Second point is coming on. List the 4 components of GDP. Give an example of each, please. Go ahead.
The first one is consumption.
Consumption is first one. Yes, good.
And the second one is investment.
Investment, perfect. Go ahead, keep going.
The third one is government purchase. And the final one is net export.
Okay, we say like this, y is equal to c plus I plus g plus x minus m. That's what we say. Okay? Shh. Everybody please notice here. This one, x minus m, is known as NX. Okay? Net export. What is C? Yes. Tell me, Moise. What does it mean? C is actually our everyday household expenditure is C, consumption. And this is the largest part, largest component of GDP. What is I, please? Quickly, please. No time to waste. Can you please not talk when someone else is talking here? Please. That's a good manner. Yes, please, go ahead, quick. What does I stand for? Someone else, please. What is this? How do you define investment here?
Like investing of money for capital in order to get the money return.
Not necessarily. Yes. Say again. Okay. I is actually investment referring here that all the machineries, equipment, stock of goods. Stock of goods, you can say that is stock of goods. Okay? Equipment, machineries, stock of goods, inventories, okay? Motor vehicle, motor car, everything they buy by the corporations, by the business, not for the public. All the machinery is bought by the business, equipment bought by, like in here, all this machinery you see here, this is part of investment. So if you add up all the investment of the whole country, that's what they're referring to, investment. Okay, private sector investment, you call them. Next one, third. What is third one? Government expenditure. What is government expenditure?
Anything they spend on infrastructure, health, education.
Exactly. Perfect. So it means that anything you spend, the government spend on infrastructure, health, all the expenditure government has, government purchases. These are known as government expenditure. Last one is, yes, go ahead. What is that? Net exports. Yes, tell me, what is that? It's export over import. Okay? How much more you exporting than you importing. That's we define it by X minus M. X is export, M is import. Okay? Next topic. Let's go to our activity 2. Here, you see the answers in here already? Circular flow diagram, that's what I'm trying to show you here. Income is equal to expenditure. GDP component, consumption, investment, government expenditure, net exports. Have a look. Okay. And total in billions is for Australian GDP 2015, it's showing it here. All right. Reworkshop problems, activity 1 continued. Okay. What components of GDP, if any, would each of the following transactions affect? Explain. We have 4 components, right? C plus I plus G plus NX, net export, right? The first one is about a family buys a new air conditioner. This one falls under which categories? Consumption, C. Uncle Marco buys a new house. Second. This one is confusing. You know what? Yes, Uncle Marco is buying this one, that's true, but this is not consumption. New house always falls under investment categories, yes. Investment categories, yes. New housing always falls under investment categories. Third one, you buy a pizza. Again, consumption. The government of NSW creates a bike path around Sydney. Government expenditure, perfect. Your parents buy a bottle of South African wine. South African wine. That's an import. Yes, net export, you can say that. That's an import, actually. Okay? Next. Okay. This one is about if prices rise, people's income from selling goods increases. Why do economists prefer using real GDP as a measure of economic well-being rather than nominal GDP? Another question is, a friend tells you that the GDP of China is 3 times the GDP of Switzerland. Does that imply that China is better off economically than Switzerland? Why or why not? That's a nice question, actually, 2 of them. Okay. All right, I'll go these 2 very quickly. I'll go through these 2 questions. You don't have to answer me these questions. I'll answer you these 2 questions. It says, if price rises, people's income from selling goods increases. If the price of any goods increases, what happens? Who is selling, he is happy. His income increases. The seller's income increases. Right? Now the question is, why do economists prefer using real GDP as a measure of economic well-being rather than nominal GDP? Now let me tell you first what is nominal and real GDP, okay? Nominal GDP is when you calculate GDP with the current market price. That's nominal GDP. For example, let's say that the price of pen is $2 in 2015. And a country has produced, let's say, 30 million pen, for example, 2015. Okay? And 2018, the price of pen is $3, and a country has produced 25 million pens. Okay? So, which year they had better GDP? Which year they had a better GDP? For 2015, it is 60,000, right? 60 million. And 2018, this is 75 million. Right? Which year they had better GDP? Second, quickly. Give me an answer. You don't need to be right. Give me an answer, please, so I can proceed. I can go ahead. I don't have to waste my time. 2018, because you see here, 75 is greater than 60, right? This is nominal GDP. You are right, from nominal GDP perspective. Okay? But we prefer to see actually real GDP. Why is that? As an economist, they always prefer to see real GDP. Real GDP brings you these numbers. What is their actual production? What is their actual production, okay? Actual production is, see here, the 2015 to 30 million, 2018 actually 25 million. Did the production increase? No, not really. Just because of the price, GDP shows higher GDP, but actually it's not. What is GDP? Who can tell me what is GDP? Yeah, exactly. So GDP is actually the total production of a country, of an economy, okay, in monetary terms, for a period of time, for a specific period of time. So how much a country producing in total should be within the money value. Okay? So now the money value is this is money value. $60 million they have produced in 2015. 2018, they produced 75 million with the money value. But the question is which price you are counting. If you calculate the count of the same year, like current year, 2018's price, 2015's price, this is nominal GDP. But if you use the constant price, how do I mean by constant price? I mean this. Even 2018, we will not count it as 3, we'll count it as 2. Even the market price is 3. Market price is 3, but we are actually using the old price, 2015. Why? To make comparison. Now you can see here it's actually 50 million is the production. 50 million is the production actually. Now you can understand the GDP, real GDP tells you that GDP actually reduced. And that's the true picture of the whole country. But if you use the current market price, you will see misleading information. That's why economists always want to use real GDP than nominal GDP. Make sense? Yep. Next question. A friend tells you that GDP of China is 3 times the GDP of Switzerland. GDP of China is 3 times GDP of Switzerland. How much China's GDP? US is almost $20 trillion, USA. Australia, how much is Australia? 1. 1.7 trillion is Australia. The highest GDP in the world is USA. Second GDP highest in the world is China. Okay? I think China, I believe they are almost 12 or 14.
12.24 trillion.
Second, how much?
12.24 trillion.
12.34. That's the Chinese GDP. Okay? So China's GDP is 12.24. The second GDP of the world. Very top rank. Now the question comes up. Switzerland is actually how much? Switzerland GDP? 1/3 of China. Does it mean that China is much more wealthy than Switzerland? No. Why not? Because we actually calculate the standard of living in this case. The standard of living is calculated how much is per capita GDP. How do you calculate per capita GDP? We try to find out real GDP, our GDP we call them, real GDP divided by population. Here China goes down. Okay? So 12 trillion, 12.33 trillion divided by population of China is 1.33 billion, I think. Right? Chinese population is how much? How Chinese population? I think 1.33 billion people.
It's 1.4 now.
1.4?
Yeah.
1.4 billion.
1.386.
386, yes, that's what I used to know. 38. Okay, the Chinese. That's why you see the standard of living in China, which we refer as real GDP per capita. So we use real GDP per capita is the measure, is a measuring tool for the standard of living of a country. But if you see in Switzerland, the population is much more lower. So per capita, per population, per person of GDP, in Switzerland is much more higher than China. Make sense? Move, next. Activity 2. In groups, answer the following questions. What is the process used to separate the change in GDP due to an increased output of goods and services from the change due to increased prices? Why do we make this distinction? Very good questions. Okay? To answer these questions, you have to have knowledge about nominal and real GDP. I just mentioned nominal and real GDP here, and you can see here example we gave in here, 17, 18, 19, see 3 years. Price of kebab, quantity of kebab, price of instant noodles, quantity of instant noodles. Let's say a country produces only kebab and instant noodles. That's only a country produces, okay? And this is the price and production level they gave you here. Price of different years and the production level of different years they have given you. Now they are actually trying to calculate the nominal GDP and real GDP. How do you calculate that? Price into quantity, price into quantity. See, for 2017, this is $800 million. A million? Should be million anyway. Countries, they should be million. Anyway, they give an example here. 2018, you see, $1,325. 2019, $2,100. And you see all of these things are actually calculated based on the nominal price. Nominal price means current market price. So how do I mean? I mean like this. 50 into 10, 500 plus 4 into 75, 300, 800. That's how they got it. Now you go in here, real GDP. Real GDP is the same, but you use the price of one specific year. And that year we call the base year. We call that as a base year. The base year they've taken here is as, look at here, base year, 2017. It means that they will use the price of 2017 as the price of every year. Now you can see their real GDP is different. Okay? And what they do, they actually calculate here GDP deflator. GDP deflator tells you about what proportion is a proportionate or it's a ratio of nominal and real GDP. It's a ratio of nominal and real GDP. Okay? What proportion of your real GDP, what proportion of nominal GDP will be the real GDP? That's what they mean here. Okay? You can see here, nominal GDP divided by real GDP is how much? 120. Again here, 131. It tells you that, look, the price was 100 first year, it increased by how much? 120 and 131. So GDP deflator actually tells you how much the price has made the increase. Due to the price, how much it increases in here. Okay, now, can you answer this question, please? What is the process used to separate the changes in GDP due to an increased output of goods and services from the changes due to increased prices? Why do we make this distinction? Actually answered this question here. I'll skip this one. Let's go next. Living standard. I already talked about living standard. Standard of living of a country depends on their real GDP. Economic growth of a country depends on their real GDP. Okay? These things we see. And any economist you ask them, they always look after real GDP, not the nominal GDP. Real is our main target. The more you produce, the better it is. Okay? What's the time? 48? Okay, not bad. Activity 3 will go. Before I go to activity 3, I will take 5 minutes to tell you a story. Okay, I'll talk about USA now. It was the time for Ronald Reagan. Heard about Ronald Reagan? You know Ronald Reagan? Who is Ronald Reagan?
He's a famous artist.
Famous actor. His wife's name was Nancy Reagan. Nancy Reagan. Nancy Reagan is still, till today, she is the most powerful first lady of world history. She was very influential lady, Nancy Reagan. Okay, don't forget them. They're very powerful. Ronald Reagan was an actor, and Nancy was an actress. They took over White House. And they tried to do something for the country. We call them Reaganomics. Heard about Reaganomics before? Economic policy of Ronald Reagan called Reaganomics. Reaganomics was this. The country was trying to find out how to make people work more. The more you work, I'm telling you today, guys, listen to this very carefully. If any of you become president of any country in the world one day, okay, remember these things. The more you work, the more your people work, make them work more, okay? The more the production of a country is, the better the GDP is. The more GDP you have, the standard of living will be higher. Whatever you blame the government is doing nothing at all, government has nothing to do. Because everything depends on how much you work. So it's you. The citizens are more responsible for their own fate, for their own lifestyle. You have to stop that chatting box, please. Tell her. She's too much into that. Stop it. Our time is very important here, I told you. I'm watching the clock and talking, nothing more. Don't waste my time, please. So Reagan actually tried to find out why people is not working. They found people is not working because they're discouraged to work because most of the money goes into the tax. Tax rate was too high in US at that time, Reagan's time. So advisors of Reagan actually told him that you have to reduce the tax. People is discouraged to work because their money is not with them. They can't enjoy their money. Their money goes into tax. President Reagan decided to reduce the tax. Okay? He decided to reduce the tax. When they reduce the tax, people will have money in their pocket and they will be working more because they are having their own money. That was the policy he took. It started to work on this. After 2 years, they found, again, people is not working. It's not working again. It stopped working. First, they stopped working because they had no money, tax. Because the tax, they had no money in the pocket, they're not working. Now, again, they stopped. Why they stopped? Again, they find out they stopped because, they asked them, why are you not working? Because they said, if I have money in my pocket, why should I work? That's human. That's how psychology is. Okay? I have no money. I have to pay tax. I don't work. Now I have money. Why should I work? So Reagan policy was a failure. That was the bottom line. Then Jimmy Carter came up, did nothing much. President Bush Sr. came up. No, not much action on economics. Economy was going down. Then the next Superman came up in US history, Bill Clinton. Clinton took his own policy, and we know it as Clintonomics. You'll find it. You'll find it in anywhere you type Reaganomics and Clintonomics, you'll find it there. Clintonomics was different. Clinton actually came and said this thing that I am not going to play with my citizens. I don't need to trick them into work. I'll tell them straight, if you work, we are the boss of the world. If you are not, we are nothing. Simple. So that the question is, which citizen is there to go to the economics class to understand what GDP is? That was the problem. Education was a big problem in there. Okay? Then what happened? He said, I will make them educated first then. That was Clinton's policy. I will make my citizens educated first, and I make them understand what GDP is, then I will tell them how to be rich in the world. That was his policy. Advisors suggested him that if you do that, it will take 30 years to get the impact. People need to get educated first. It's not a joke. And when they will understand this one, when they will go to university first year. So 12 years at the university, then after they get birth, another 10 years before they go to. So it's around 22 to 30 years time. Going to have the impact. You know what they did? Very interesting thing they have done. He said this, we are going to import educated people to our country. That was the problem he had in the whole world. He opened the door for migrants. And he took the top university graduates from throughout the world. He sucked the whole brain from the world and took them to USA. And he has been accused of this thing by other world leaders of brain draining. I think you must have heard this word before. Clinton was the first person to do these things in the world. He took people from everywhere of the world as a brain draining. He draining all the brain in there. After 1992, look at USA today. They started Microsoft after 1992. Windows 95 came up after that. Chinese people, all the top Chinese universities, they took these students to the USA. I don't know whether you guys heard these things from your ancestors. India as well. China, India, Pakistan, England, everywhere of the world, Ireland, everywhere of the world. He took the people from the top university graduates to USA. Economy flourished. Big companies came up. Economy flourished. Until today, holding #1 richest country of the world. Why? GDP is too high. Their GDP is 20 trillion every year. Trust me, almost 20, 18 point something. How much is the USA GDP?
It's over 20.
How much?
It's over 20.
Over 20 now?
22.
Oh, gosh. Yes, 22. And the second one, 12. See, almost double than China. They're too high rank in GDP. 22 trillion. Second one is 12. See the gap? It's a huge gap. It's not easy to catch them. So what are you going to do? Going back to your country, be a president, and tell them to work hard to increase the GDP. Okay? Next, activity 3, just work on this one. Okay, 5:56. We have 4 minutes in our hand. According to Stiglitz, Stiglitz is a Nobel. He's a Nobel laureate. I attended one of his conference in UNSW. He came up once when that time Tony Abbott was in power at that time. Why is it argued that GDP is a poor indicator of welfare? What is meant by green GDP? Why is inequality a key factor in understanding welfare? Quickly, please. Quickly. How many minutes? I think you guys have still 15 minutes, I hope. Number 3. Activity 3, 15 minutes. Here we go. Quick.
You realize those are the answers on the board, right? Those are the answers on the board.
Not really. Summary of the clip. GDP misrepresents as economic well-being because that's not the answers actually, no.
Yeah, well,
These are the tips for me to talk in the class, that's all. This is not for you, not for me. 15 minutes, 8 minutes, this is for me to actually follow. Okay? Here is the question you got. We have the answers later on, don't worry. We have the answers in there. Quickly, please. Everything all right with you? Sure?
GDP is a poor indicator of welfare because although the
Yeah, that's the one. That's the right answer, yes.
the median continues to go down, so the median income for what people are actually earning is going down. Therefore, people are actually worse off than what they were the previous year, despite the increase. What is more than green GDP refers to measuring the resources that a country has from an environmental perspective. So, for example, if a country is cutting down its trees or selling off its crops, once that stops, there's no more crops and no more trees.
Finished? Good. Finished? Guys, finished? Have you finished? Okay. Let's watch this video first, then I'm going to talk about the other things.
Forward TV. The world is thinking.
One of the reasons for my interest in this subject is accounting frameworks do affect behavior. You know, we saw that in the United States in the 90s where people have bad account behavior. Some of what we're going on now is a reflection of bad accounting. So more generally, information affects behavior. And so what our information about how we describe success affects what we strive for. If GDP is what we think is success, people will strive for GDP. And political leaders all the time say, you know, look at what we've done. You know, they always put it, you know, I've succeeded in getting the economy to grow at 6%. Now, what he did is hard to figure out, but that's the politician does that. You know, I've created X million jobs. So that's part of the political rhetoric. The question is, by doing that, they focus policies on things that will increase GDP. There's actually, in forming the commission, we've identified a large number of ways in which GDP is not a good measure of economic performance or societal well-being. And so what we're trying to do is partly to focus the global conversation about these other measures, but also come up with some.
No? Shit.
The focusing, we ought to know what's happening to the median person. It's very hard to find statistics about that across countries. One of the things that I tried to, when I was at the Council of Economic Advisors, try to generate was a focus on green GDP. That is to say, to take account of environmental degradation and resource depletion. This is particularly important in developing countries that may be growing by cutting down their force, but once they cut down their force, there's nothing there. And so unless they do something, it's not sustainable. GDP tells you nothing about sustainability. Another example is GDP measures. IMF thought Argentina was doing great in the early 90s. I happened to look at the data in a more fine-grained way, and we said, this is not sustainable. If you only looked at GDP, you would not have realized that. So in the first context, there are ways that you can take out for depletion of natural resources, degradation of the environment. If you do that, China's growth gets significantly lowered. It's still doing well, but it is much lower than it otherwise would have been. Interesting story about the role of special interest. When we tried to push for this, and people in the Department of Commerce were excited about doing this, the coal industry basically passed a proviso or threatened to pass a proviso to take away funding for any research that would support these alternative measures. Because they knew that green GDP would not be good for the coal industry. So, to me, that reinforced my belief why it's important to measure these things. Another example.
I think we'll stop it here. Let's go with the questions in here. Why is it argued that GDP is not a good measure of well-being? Yes, this table.
Because it doesn't take into consideration the average person, it doesn't take into consideration health, changes in inequality, environmental quality, and so on.
Okay, there are some, like anything you do is a part of GDP. Anything you do. Okay? Anything you do is a part of GDP. For example, let's say you actually went to work. You went to work. So today you got a payment of, let's say you worked 8 hours, $20 an hour, you got $160 for today your income. So your contribution to the GDP is actually how much today? $160. Make sense? That's how you calculate GDP. Now the problem is GDP does not count some items. Like for example, let's say your mom working at home, household items. It's not calculated in GDP because this is not sellable into the market. You work for your father's business. He does not pay you the salaries. This is also you are making contribution. But if he paid you the salaries, yes, it could be part of GDP, but he does not pay.
It only includes like market transactions.
It is not a part of market transaction. That's why. Okay. Now let's go about leisure time. You spend time with your siblings. You spend time with your parents. Okay. That's actually part of GDP as well. But they do not consider it as a GDP. That's another problem we have. The leisure period, then we talk about rest. If a person takes rest, it actually improves his health, that the person can actually work better next day morning. But GDP thinks taking rest is actually a waste of time. GDP don't consider that. Then think about black economy. Black economy, I mean smuggling, illegal items, illicit drugs, this business. Black economy I'm talking about. In black economy as well, it's a huge economy, is black economy. Huge dealings is in there. But in some countries, black economy is bigger than the white economy. White economy means the normal economy, that legitimate economy I refer to. And the black economy is not legitimate economy. but that economy is much more bigger. Now you can see some countries in USA, in Canada, they're trying to absorb some of the black economy, like legalizing marijuana in USA, then in Canada, then Amsterdam, for recreational purpose. They're absorbing some of the black economy into the white economy. They do that. Some countries, they say that we are going to allow the smugglers and corrupted people to actually whiten their money after paying a certain amount of tax. We call them whitening black money. Okay, that's also part of, yes, money laundering. This thing also comes up in there as well. So GDP do not actually consider those things. Okay, then environment, for example. GDP don't care about a clean environment about. Okay, GDP don't care about. GDP don't care about quality as well. Sorry, for quality goods, it's a better price, better improvement, but GDP don't consider about quality. GDP consider about the money. How much that GDP is all about. Okay, so GDP is not actually a part of, is not considering, it's not the exact or a perfect measure of economic well-being. Second question about what one? Green GDP. Who talked about green GDP? Quickly, please. Somebody tell me there's something that I can start again. Yes, this one. Quick. What is green GDP? Tell me what you have written. That's all. I need to know. Quick. What's the time? 6:15? I have 2 more minutes. Quick. Guys, you have to talk. Everybody have to talk, okay? Sorry? So I just mentioned about that the more you work, the better you work, the more you work in any sector, that's actually part of that improves your GDP. Now, green GDP referring to when these workings, these activities, the actions, the works you do to develop the environment, that's green GDP. For example, let's say a country has invested some money to develop a coastal area. Green, they want to make it green environment in that area. They are trying to plant some trees in those areas. That's a part of work. If they go to plant, they have to pay the money to the laborers. Horticulturists, they have to pay the money to them. So all these people that are spending money, part of GDP. So when you are actually investing your money in natural resources, you are actually invested some people to protect the fish of the ocean. You are spending some money on the watchman, GDP. But this GDP is for protecting the environment, green GDP. Make sense? So when you spend your money, or when the government actually tries to make investment or spend money on sustainability, okay, on environment, then making a greener planet. Okay, in Australia we have a lot of them. We call them revegetation process. In Australia we have this one. You will go to some park, you will see they said this area under revegetation process. Green GDP actually, that one. Part of government expenditure mainly. And also you can do it too at your home as well.
Yeah, I grow my vegetables at home.
Yeah, but you are not, it's not in the marketplace, anyway it's not going to be counted anyway.
Sell it to my neighbors.
Sell it to your neighbors, yes, that if you pay the tax, yes it will. The cash in hand job is not part of GDP. Yeah. Next. Why is inequality a key factor in understanding welfare? Inequality referring is here that we have people who are very rich and we have people who are very poor. So this is an inequality in the society. Some people are very rich, some people are very poor. Okay? So you have to understand this one, that what the government does, I don't know how many of you know about Centrelink. Do you know Centrelink? How many of you know Centrelink? Raise your hand quickly. You know Centrelink? Yes. You know Centrelink? Heard about Centrelink?
Yes.
Okay. You domestic international student?
Domestic.
Then you know Centrelink.
Yes.
Okay, social welfare we have. Youth welfare, social welfare, and government, all those government transfer, government payments, this comes from the Centrelink. Do you know why do they do that? They do these things that the people who are actually at the bottom layer of the society, the bottom class of the society, they need to push them up. So government tax the rich people, get the money into Centrelink, and pays it to the poorer people. That's why they maintain the inequality in the society of economic welfare. Make sense? When there is inequality in the society, government needs to step in. They need to collect the money from the rich people, higher tax. That's called progressive tax system we have in Australia. In progressive tax system, you tax higher. More taxes you pay, more percentage of taxes you charge to the rich people. and collect this money to pay the people who is less earnings. Okay? Next. For the time, 17, I'm 2 minutes short. Activity 4. The United States Human Development Index, HDI, is based on the real GDP per person. Okay, it's based on the real GDP per person, life expectancy and birth. Life expectancy at birth and indicators of the quality and quantity of education. Explain why HDI might be better than real GDP as a measure of economic welfare. Which items in the HDI are part of the real GDP and which items are not in real GDP? Why do you think that HDI should be expanded to include items such as pollution, resource depletion, and political freedom? Explain. Okay, let's see what is this. Sorry. This is a table we have. On this table, they're talking about HDI, okay, Human Development Index ranking in the world. Number 1 is Norway. Second one is Australia. Okay, US is number 8. New Zealand is 9. UK 14. Japan 20. China is 90. India is 130. Afghanistan 171. Yeah, Indonesia 110. So these countries are they actually try to rank the world, the economic countries of the world, on the basis of Human Development Index. When you talk, yes.
Doesn't it also take into consideration GDP?
They take real GDP, and on the real GDP, that's the whole point. They see what they see. They actually they calculate the real GDP, and they will see the component of real GDP in the country. If you check the websites of statistical website, you'll see when they calculate GDP, they actually mention how much is spent on which categories. Okay, it will mention in there. So they find out which country is spending how much money on the human development. From there, they take this data. Okay, so they're actually getting this data from the real GDP itself. So of course, real GDP is actually considered in here. Okay, so how many things they take? They take based on real GDP per person, life expectancy at birth, and indicators of quality and quantity of education. Why HDI might be better than real GDP as a measure of economic welfare? Okay, another one we have in here. So this is a real GDP, and you can see that it's loading. Yeah. Okay. This is the education index and everything you didn't value. Mauritius, Tajikistan, which country is here? Australia, 2, Norway 1, Denmark. So they have given you some countries' position in here. Okay, let's not go in there. So the data the data we are talking in here is actually from these informations. Okay, can I do these things quickly, please? What's the time? 6:20. I think I'll skip it. Let's go next. 5. Other measure of economy is another one is called unemployment rate. Unemployment rate, okay? They said here, define frictional unemployment, structural unemployment, cyclical unemployment. Give examples of each type of unemployment. What is inflation rate? This one is very easy and quick. You have 10 minutes, not 15 minutes. 10 minutes this time. Quickly, please. 10 minutes. Then I have to talk about quiz and in-class exercise. Okay, quickly, please. See, time goes like this. No time. Quickly, please. What are the three different types of unemployment? Write it quickly, please. Almost there. Quickly, please, guys. Can you work on English language, please, only? We would appreciate that you use other languages here, please. Thank you. Where is the other guy? Where's Javed Khan? Horse breeder. Yes. Excuse me, who is this one? Whose card is this? You are not talking with your friends here in the class. You have to talk in a group. That's the main objective in here. Which language are you using? Good. Next time we're gonna combine students from different countries. That will be better. So you can use other languages. Five minutes more.
Look for more details. The lab
Done? Then work. Quick. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, quick. You're drinking too much. Work. Done? Good. Okay, let's start. Tell me about why unemployment is a problem. Why unemployment is a problem? When there is unemployment, there are people who is not working. Less production of the economy, less GDP in the country. That's why this is a problem. It is actually putting our potential GDP down. Our potential GDP is actually GDP that when the whole economy, when the country works at the full capacity. That's the potential GDP we call them. So what happens? The actual GDP falls below the potential GDP. That's the problem we have. Yes?
What we were talking about last week, what's it called? The production frontier?
Yeah?
Inefficiencies.
Inefficiency it will be inside. Yes, it will be inside. That's true. Inside the curve. Yes. What are the difference between frictional, structural, and cyclical unemployment? Why? Yes, Anna, tell me now. 3.
Well, frictional employment is an employment which exists from like people moving jobs, like from one job to another.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
And then which one else did you ask for?
3. Frictional, structural, and cyclical.
Structural is basically people that are jobless in a healthy economy. So they're looking for a job, but they're in a healthy economy. And cyclic is when workers lose their job due to like downturns in a business cycle.
Yes. In a business cycle, you will be always having an up and down. It's normal. Normal, these things. A business doing very good, trust me, the business is going down soon. Again, they will pick up. That's a normal business cycle in every country. Okay? So when the economy are actually in recession, okay, they have some peak, then boom, peak, boom. That's how they go it all the time. Okay? So when the economy is actually in recession, there will be unemployment. This unemployment known as cyclical unemployment. Normal, natural. We call that natural unemployment too. Frictional unemployment means you have one job, you left the job, looking for another job. In meantime, you are jobless. Frictional unemployment. A structural one, the changes in economy comes up. Okay? Government said that from next week, there will be no more horse breeder. Job gone. Okay? So government comes with some policies because of the policy, what happens is that government face some unemployment.
When they banned greyhound racing.
Yes, greyhound race, that's the one, yes.
Increase the percentage of unemployment in Australia.
Yes, that will increase it, this one. Yes, government makes some, that's a structural unemployment. Next, what is inflation? Yes, go ahead, tell me.
Inflation is the rising of the level of prices.
When the average price level goes high. When the average price level goes high. Sorry. This is called inflation. It's not like 1 or 2 items price is high and inflation, no, it's not. When there is average price level will go high. Okay? On an average, most of the items price goes up, but some items goes down. No, that's an inflation actually. Why it is a problem? Because of inflation, what happens?
The poor people and the others, they can't spend and then consumption goes down and GDP falls.
Exactly, GDP will fall. I think we are almost finished. I think I'll stop it here today. And here they have some graphs in here. Natural unemployment, total unemployment. Two measures of inflation, GDP and, okay. GDP and CPI. CPI is known as, GDP and CPI. CPI is known as Consumer Price Index. Every day, every single day, Australian Bureau of Statistics, you did not talk much today, gentlemen. Okay, you did not talk much today, okay? You have to talk next week. We are finishing off this week very soon. We have an exam after this discussion, okay? So now let's finish it off. Inflation is measured by using CPI and deflator, GDP deflator too. CPI means Consumer Price Index. So every single day, government is making a note of the price of all the items that are being sold. Okay, they have a specific basket for these things. Okay, and end of the year, they will calculate, they will see opening, how much was the beginning of the year, how much is the end of the year, the price of the goods. Then they calculate how many items prices increased, how many items prices decreased. That's how they see average, it went up or down. If it went up, inflation, went down, deflation. Okay. Another way to measure is using deflation rate. Here, GDP deflator. GDP deflator is actually calculated based on the nominal and real GDP. So how much was the real GDP? Then they will check how much nominal GDP. Then they find out nominal GDP has increased more than the real GDP just because of the price changes, which is again inflation rate. You can measure two of them. But keep one thing in mind, the GDP deflator is a better measure of inflation than CPI, but we use CPI index for inflation. Real GDP in Australia, look at real GDP in Australia going high. You see that? Going up. At some stage, our GDP was bad. You see these blue lines? That's the time we had recession, you see. This time it actually went down. This time went down. This time went down. So 5 times went down till 1970. In 1930s, that time we had a huge crash. That's all. Activity 7, we won't do this one. I'm 5 minutes short actually right now. Now we are going to have an exam. And do you guys understand about how we're gonna assess you guys? 4 things: online quiz, in-class exercise, assignment, and final exam. Okay? For online quiz, you have to go online. Okay? If you go to week 2, and you will find your online exam is there. Online quiz 1. So like this, you will have how many quiz? You have 6 quizzes you will have. Right? You have to sit for 6 quiz. Out of 6 quiz, we're going to take your best 4. We're going to take your best 4. Okay? Then, and again we will have in-class exercise. We will have 8 in-class exercise. Out of 8, we're going to take only how many? 6 we're going to take. Okay? Today you're going to have an exam. In-class exam now. How long? I'm going to give you actually 15 to 20 minutes, not more than that. 20 minutes will be too much. I have to do it quick now. We're on 36. Guys, nothing on the table, please. Nothing on the table. Quickly, please. Quick. Nothing on the table? No mobile phones, nothing, please. Before you write your name, let me talk to you first. If you have more, pass to others. How many we have here? Get it more. Okay, now look. You write down your name. Oh, what? How many short? 2. How many short? 1 more? 3. You have extra? 2. Anybody else? Need papers? No? All good. Now look. Do not write your name right now. Let me explain you what to do. You write your name. Write your name here first, okay? And you can discuss in group, that's okay. Okay? But I want you to write your name and ID number. Okay? And you're going to answer these questions. If you want to write your group member's name, I think then all the group members will have the same mark, right? And I don't want that, to be honest. I want it individually, everybody to be assessed. Okay? Yes. Quickly, please. Yeah? Write your name and ID, that's it. ID too, yes. Sometimes a student gives me a funny name. Yes. I found students give me William. I didn't find any William in my class. Then ask him, he said, oh, that's my English name. So give your name and ID, please. Okay? Start it, quick. You can talk with your friends, no problem with that. Okay, you can talk with your friends, but you write your own. And you have, give it to me back by 15 minutes I'll give you, not more than 15 minutes. Okay? All right. Okay, guys, let's do attendance as well. Okay? Let's do the attendance too. Moez Ahmed. Guys, can you talk loudly to me when you answer? Don't just say this. Yeah. I can't hear. Loudly. Everybody is talking in the class discussion, so I can't hear you if you don't say loudly, please. Moez, thank you. Wen Kayan? Ijun An? Pingyuan B? Pingyuan Bai? No? Feng Pi Chen? Good. Eugene Chua? Good. Minky Fang? Ruilin Gao? Ruilin Gao? Chi Ji Gong? Okay. Angelo Gunatilaka? Jijian Huang? Good. Shoya Inami? Shoya Inami? Okay, yeah. Sarah James? Okay. Sayeda Anum Kamal? Shi Ui Kang? Okay. Javed Khan? Jia Ulan? Han Liang Li? Jackie Li? Wen Yu Li? Mao Long Liu? Mao Long Liu? No. Jiao Jun Lu? Good. Isuan Lu? Jinbo Ma? Ilin Ma? No? Ilin Ma? You have to talk. Thank you. Knock Landmai? How do you pronounce your name? Knock? No. How do you pronounce the first name? Yeah. This one. NGOC.
It's not.
Knock, yeah, that's what I'm asking. Knock, okay, good. Learning. Sabni Maile. Minni. Shamo Gratitude Palma. Li Tung Huang Pan. Li? No? Naomi Pitt. Naomi Pitt. Anna Rudik. Chi Tang. Brandon Gilbert. Len Wang. Len Wang? No? Okay. Jiang Wang? Jiang Wang? No? Jia Mengwei? Talk. What's your name? Loudly. Jia Mengwei. Yeah. So talk, please. Yeah. Si U? Good. Hong Ruzai? Good. Ji E Yan? Yunji Yang? Yunji? No. Ji Yu Jan? Chi Jiang? Top. Good. Ji E Jiang? Talk. Yes. Mei Shanju? Oh, you did not say anything. Yes, thank you. Yunju? Good. Jia Haoju? Zheng Yuju? Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So when you guys finish, give me your paper and you can go home. You have 8 more minutes to go. Finished? Give it to me and go. Yeah, which one? Yeah, I'll mark it. Why do I mark it? What happened? Of course I have to mark this paper, it's exam. That's the answer?
To be paid more. Yeah. Do you want me to run a new office? What's wrong with me?
That's your answer? guys? Done? Can you write bigger next time? Can you write bigger letters? It's very hard to read. What's the time now? 49. Do you understand that card is in the classroom? Standing in here, writing your exam, what is doing in here? Do you know how much food is this? You finished? Why did I say mobile phone on my hand? I need paper. Are you done? So any other, you guys have never seen writing the exam paper with mobile phone in the exam? Have you seen this in your life ever? I never seen these things. I don't know why you're doing these things in the classroom actually. Why do you have mobile phone on you with you? Time is up, guys. Quick, please. Time is up. Thank you. Stop. Stop there. Sorry?
Did you have a quiz?
Oh, we have every week.
Oh,
And looks like you still have some manners class. How do they? I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Yes. Mobile phone on the side and the writing. Come on, have some sense. You're not in high school.
oh, that's the problem. All the students with the mobile phone, they're attached to mobile phone.
Yes. Too much.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah. No, at least like, I think slowly most of these school universities, they are banning mobile phone in the classroom. They are doing it now.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, yes, they are. Lot of-
I haven't seen it.
Most of the countries are agreeing on these things. They're doing it. No mobile phones are in the school. They are
In the
keeping it.
school, in the high school, not at the university.
Oh, they will. I do in my class. I do. And we have that.
How do you then?
How? I'll show you how. Yeah, look at here. The first thing we have is this. Student code of conduct from the university, given straight. They're not allowed.
No. So we did it.
What is not acceptable?
Oh, yeah, how as well. Yeah, but how do you have it?
That's it.
Okay, so
We
what?
don't. We don't use it in the class.
They don't use it.
You don't.
I have it as well, but they still use it.
No,
Because
they don't.
sometimes.
I threw them out. I threw them
What
out.
do you do if someone uses it?
You can leave the classroom. You finish it off, then you come in later.
Yeah, I told them. I think it's still in
That's what I do normally. Yeah, it's harsh, but that's what I think is necessary for me. Yes. You can use the mobile phone. I have no problem with that. You might have some important call or something, but not in my class. Go outside. Social manners. I need that.
That's what they say as well, but they still they come.
Yeah, when I catch them, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, they still do. Or they want to log off.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah. Did you get your details now?
Yeah,
Yes, I know. That's it. Thank you very much.
that's fine.
Yes, enjoy.
Thanks. See you next